They took from you. Yes, they did. They took your time, your trust, your heart, your belief. They took your spirit and crushed it under the weight of their expectations, their lies, their false promises. They stole your peace, your sense of self, and maybe, for a while, they even convinced you that it was theirs to take. But listen to me now. They cannot take what was never theirs to begin with. Your essence, your power, your true, unshakable strength. No matter how much they've taken, no matter how hard they've tried to bury you under the rubble of their own mistakes and failures, they cannot take what is already yours. And I know you're thinking, but they've taken everything. I'm left with nothing. But I'm telling you, you've been living with a lie. A lie they sold you, a lie they made you believe. A lie you accepted because you were told to. You are not empty. There is still something inside of you. Something raw, something fierce, something untapped. Has been buried, yes, buried deep beneath the weight of disappointment, rejection, betrayal. But it's still there. It's still beating. It never left. And now the time has come for you to dig it out, to let it rise, to let it explode into the world like a fire that's been smothered for too long. Think about it. How many times have they told you that you weren't enough? How many people tried to convince you that you were small, that you didn't matter, that your dreams were too big, too foolish, too impossible? They tried to tear you down, to make you believe that your worth was tied to their opinions of you, their definitions of success. They told you what you could and couldn't do, what you could and couldn't be. And for too long, you listened. For too long, you allowed their judgments to shape your reality, their limitations to become your boundaries. But now is the moment you stand up and say, no more. They took what they could, but they can't take your soul. They can't take your fight. They can't take your will to rise again. No matter how hard they try to tear you down, they can never take what is already yours. The power to transform, to reclaim, to rebuild. It's yours by right. They don't get to define your worth. You do. This is not a story of resignation. This is not a tale of defeat. You've been through the worst of it, haven't you? The times when you felt like the world was closing in, the weight of everything that's happened pressing against your chest, suffocating you. It felt like you couldn't breathe, like you couldn't move, like you'd never escape. But here's the thing you didn't know. That suffocating feeling, that's the last gasp of the old you, the version of you that let them win. And with every ounce of that air that leaves your lungs, a new you is being born. One that's stronger, sharper, more determined. One that knows that you get to decide what happens next. You've been deceived, you've been misled. They told you that you were finished. But what they didn't know, what they couldn't know, is that this is the moment where you rise. This is the moment where the fire inside of you burns hotter than ever before. This is the moment where you remember who you are, where you remember what you're made of. And when you do, when you stand in that truth, the world will have no choice but to step aside. They can take your possessions, they can take your status, they can take your reputation, but they cannot take your fire. They cannot take your drive. They cannot take your will to thrive, to grow, to rise from the ashes of what they thought they destroyed. You're not broken, you're not shattered. You're just waiting for the moment when you realize you were never the victim. You were always the hero of your story. You just didn't know it yet. So now, right here, right now, the question is this: will you continue to let them define who you are, or will you rise? Will you finally take what is already yours and make it yours again? You get to choose. This is the moment that changes everything. You are not who they said you were. You are not the mistakes you've made. You are not the lies they've fed you. You are something far greater. And now you get to show the world exactly who you are. You've been carrying something for so long now. It's heavy, isn't it? You can feel it pressing against your chest, holding you back, draining your energy. You wake up every morning with it and go to bed every night with it. This constant weight, this invisible burden that no one can see but you can feel. You don't know when it started, but somewhere along the way, you became convinced that this weight was your reality. You started believing the lie that this pain, this doubt, this fear was something you had to live with, something you had to accept. But here's the truth. You don't. You were never meant to carry it, and it doesn't define you. It was placed on you by someone or something that didn't have the right to do it. The world didn't ask your permission. Life didn't ask your permission. And now you're drowning in the aftermath, struggling to stay afloat, wondering if there's even a way out. And I know exactly what you're feeling. You feel like a ship caught in a storm, waves crashing over you, no land in sight. The sky is black, the wind howling, and every time you try to get a breath, you're pulled under again. You try to push forward, but the current pulls you back. It drags you into the depths of your own mind, and you don't know how to stop it. Every day feels like a battle against the same forces. the same fears, the same doubts, the same crushing pressure. You can feel yourself losing ground, and worse, you start to think that maybe it's you who's broken. Maybe you're not strong enough. Maybe you just don't have what it takes. The voices around you, the ones who said you'd never make it, the ones who doubted you, they start to sound so much louder than your own. You've been told that you're not enough, that you're too much of one thing, not enough of another, that you've missed your chance, that you've failed. You've heard these words so many times now, they've etched themselves into your soul. And somewhere along the way, you've started to believe them. You let them plant seeds of doubt in your heart. You let them convince you that your worth is tied to your performance, your success, your ability to meet expectations. Expectations you didn't even set for yourself. And those seeds, they've grown into something dangerous. They've spread into every corner of your mind. Every waking moment is filled with the same question: am I enough? And yet, you still try. You keep pushing. You wake up, you show up, you do what needs to be done, but it's never enough. You give your all, but it never feels like it's enough. And the more you give, the more you lose. The more you try, the more it slips through your fingers. You feel like you're running in place, like you're trying to catch your breath. But there's always something or someone pushing you further down, holding you back. But let me tell you something. This villain you're facing, this voice inside your head telling you that you're not enough, telling you that you can't do it, telling you that you're doomed to fail, it's not you. It's not the real you. It's the shadows, the lies you've been fed, the wounds you've carried for too long, the forces that are so determined to convince you that you're not worthy. These are the things that seek to break you. These are the things that try to suffocate your light. This villain, this enemy, isn't just outside of you. It's in your mind. It's in the deepest parts of your soul, whispering that you can't, that you won't, that you shouldn't. And it gets louder every time you try to rise above it. But I need you to understand something. This enemy, it doesn't have the power you think it does. You've been allowing it to control you. You've been letting it take up too much space in your life. And it's time to take that back. You see, they've made you believe that your pain is permanent. They've made you think that because you've been broken once, you'll always be broken. But that's a lie. Your pain does not define you. It's only a part of your journey. It doesn't get to determine your worth. It doesn't get to decide your future. You do. Every scar you carry, every wound, every tear, it doesn't make you weak. It makes you stronger than you've ever realized. They wanted you to believe that these things would tear you apart. But the truth is, they're the very things that are going to rebuild you. They've tried to drag you down into the abyss, to crush your spirit, to convince you that you're nothing. But they're wrong. You're not nothing. You're more than they could ever comprehend. It's easy to stay stuck in this place, to stay tangled in the pain and the doubt. It's easy to listen to the voices that tell you to give up. But what you don't realize is that this pain is not a prison. It's a reminder that you're still standing, a reminder that you're still fighting, a reminder that no matter how many times they've tried to break you, you haven't given up yet. And that means everything. So, yeah, they've tried to take everything from you. They've made you question yourself, your abilities, your worth. They've lied to you, manipulated you, pushed you down, but they cannot take your fight. They cannot take your soul. They cannot take your power. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter how heavy the burden gets. It doesn't matter how many times you've been knocked down. What matters is that you keep getting up. What matters is that you don't let them win. You keep your head up, you dig in, and you remind them of who you really are. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not defeated. The storm is fierce, the waves are high, the sky is dark, but you're the force that rises from the depths. You're the storm that's coming for everything that tried to hold you back. They cannot drown you. Not when you remember the power that's inside of you. Not when you remember that you are more than the pain they tried to inflict on you. This is your fight. Your victory. Your moment to reclaim everything they took. And it starts with realizing that you have the strength to stand, no matter how high the waves rise. No matter how hard the storm rages. You are still here. And now, you're ready to show them who you really are. It feels like you're drowning, doesn't it? Every breath, every movement, every thought weighed down by the crushing force of the world. You've fought, you've tried, you've pushed forward, sometimes with everything you had and sometimes with nothing but a spark of hope left to keep you going. But it never seems to be enough, does it? Every time you think you've made a breakthrough, you're pulled back into the abyss, deeper than before. It feels like you're caught in quicksand, your body sinking with every effort to free yourself. The more you struggle, the deeper you fall. And the harder you fight, the heavier the weight becomes. It's like the very air around you is suffocating, wrapping around your chest, restricting your breath until you can hardly catch your next one. It's hard to even imagine what it would feel like to just breathe again. Every day feels the same. Every step forward feels like another step into a pit that's getting deeper. The walls taller and more unyielding. It's like the world is conspiring against you, every moment built on failure, rejection, and unfulfilled promises. You're doing everything you can just to keep going, but every inch you gain, you lose too. You try to hold on to something, anything, to remind yourself that it's worth it. But the truth keeps clawing at you. Nothing's working. No matter how much you put in, no matter how much you fight, it never feels like you're getting any closer to the life you thought was waiting for you. How many times have you asked yourself, is this it? How many sleepless nights have you spent staring at the ceiling, wondering if maybe this is the end of the road? Wondering if you've tried your hardest, done everything in your power, only to face the harsh reality that it's just not enough? That maybe this is all there is, this pit, this hopeless place, this feeling of being stuck, forever chasing something just out of reach, always working, always fighting, and never quite feeling like you're winning? I see it. I know what it's like to feel that weight on your shoulders, to feel like you're walking through a storm and the thunder is too loud, the rain too heavy, and the lightning too blinding to see anything beyond it. There are times when you feel so far gone that you wonder if the world would even notice if you stop fighting. You feel small, insignificant, lost in the endless struggle, and the world just seems so much bigger than your strength. It feels like there's no end in sight, no light at the end of this tunnel. The voices in your head, they're loud now, aren't they? So loud that they drown out everything else. They tell you that you're not strong enough, that you're not capable, that you don't have what it takes to make it. The enemy isn't just the outside world anymore. It's inside you too. It's the doubt, the fear, the shame. It's the voice that tells you that no matter what you do, it will never be enough. The voice that tells you to give up, to stop trying, to stop fighting, because it's easier to just let go than it is to keep pushing forward. And in moments like this, when the weight is too much to bear, when the light feels so far away that you can't even remember what it looked like, it's easy to feel like you're not meant for anything more. It's easy to feel like you're destined to stay in this darkness forever. That this endless battle, this never-ending struggle is your reality. But listen closely. This is not the end. It feels like it, yes. It feels like you've hit the bottom, like you're drowning and there's no hand reaching out to pull you up. But let me tell you something. That's a lie. This is not the end. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's painful. Yes, the road ahead looks impossibly long and winding. But what you don't know yet is that it's in the darkness, in the struggle, in the very moments when you feel like everything is lost, that something incredible is being forged within you. The pain you're feeling, the exhaustion, the doubt, it's all a part of the process. You're not broken. You're not done. You're in the fire, and though the heat is intense, it's what's shaping you, making you stronger, preparing you for the moment when you rise from this. I know right now it doesn't feel like it. I know it feels like you've given all you have and still come up empty. I know it feels like you're carrying the weight of the world and every step forward pulls you deeper into the quicksand. But understand this. It's not the fight that breaks you. It's the giving up that will. It's the quitting that will steal your future. So long as you're still standing, so long as you're still breathing, there's always a way out. Right now you might be feeling like you have nothing left. But the truth is, even when it feels like you're at rock bottom, there is something inside you that is still fighting. And it's this part of you, the part that hasn't given up, the part that refuses to accept defeat, that will carry you through the storm. You might not see it yet, but the very thing that feels like it's destroying you right now is the thing that's going to build you. Every tear, every painful moment, every single doubt, these are not signs of your weakness. They're signs that you're still in the fight. And that fight, that relentless will to survive, will eventually lead you to the other side. Yes, it's dark. Yes, it's hard. Yes, you feel like you can't take another step. But hear me when I say this. You're closer than you think. You may not see it yet, but every single step, every single breath is bringing you closer to the moment when you look back at this and realize that it was never about falling. It was about rising. And you will rise, not because everything magically gets better, but because you refuse to let the darkness win. This is not the end, it's just the beginning, and you will rise from this, stronger, more powerful, and ready to claim what's always been yours. Hold on just a little longer. The dawn is coming. In the darkest corners of your soul, where the pain is thick and suffocating, there is something stirring. You might not see it yet. You might feel like the world is closing in, like everything you've tried to do has failed, and every step forward only leads you deeper into the abyss. But somewhere deep within you, there's a spark, a seed, a flicker of light that no darkness can ever fully extinguish. It's there beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to emerge, to rise up, to transform everything you thought you knew about yourself. This is where change begins, not in the bright, easy places of your life, but in the shadows, in the places where hope feels like a distant memory and every effort feels like it's being swallowed by the night. This is the truth. The soil of your soul is rich with the possibility of renewal. Even when you can't see it, Even when you feel buried beneath the weight of your own struggles, transformation is already happening, and the process starts small. It begins with a single seed, buried deep beneath the earth, in the darkness, in the quiet, in the unseen places. Just like a seed buried in the dirt, you might feel like you're stuck, like you're not moving, like you're waiting for something outside of you to change so that you can begin again. But that's where the illusion lies. You're not waiting on the outside, you're waiting on the inside. You've been buried, yes, but buried with purpose. The seed inside you has been planted for a reason, and no matter how dark it gets, no matter how many times you've been trampled, no matter how many storms have tried to crush it, the seed will grow. The dirt, the darkness, and the cold aren't there to destroy you, but to help you grow. The forces that seem to suffocate you are actually the ones fueling your transformation. They are not the end, but the beginning. The more the world tries to push you down, the more pressure you feel, the closer you get to your breakthrough. Like a seed needs the earth's pressure to crack open and send roots down into the soil, you need the weight of this moment to push you into your own power. Every moment of pain, every struggle, every broken piece of you is laying the foundation for what's coming next. You've been told that what's been taken from you defines you. The things you've lost, the battles you've lost, the love you've lost. But that's a lie. What's been taken doesn't change what is already yours. The power within you has always been there. The fire inside you was never extinguished. No external force can define you because you are not what they tried to take. You are the fire that never goes out. You are the seed that will push through the hardest earth, reach for the sky, and bloom in a way no one ever thought possible. There's a quiet strength in you, like embers glowing softly beneath the ashes. The flames may have flickered, hidden by hardship and doubt, but they're still there. When you find the courage to fan those embers, when you give yourself permission to believe in your own power, those embers will ignite into a fire that nothing can stop. You're not waiting for the world to change for you. You're waiting for the moment when you finally see the strength inside you, when you realize that everything you need to rise again has been inside you all along. This is where the shift begins. When you stop looking for outside validation and start trusting that you are enough, that you are worthy of what you desire. You are already equipped with everything you need to break free from the chains that have kept you bound. You've always had the power to rise again. You just need to believe it. Look at the trees that grow in the wild, the flowers that bloom in cracks on the sidewalk. They don't wait for permission or for perfect conditions. They grow anyway, they rise anyway, and so will you. Even now, as you feel buried under the weight of the world, remember, there's more to you than meets the eye. You are not the sum of your pain, your failures. You are the seed, and the seed will grow. You've been planted with purpose, prepared for something bigger than you can comprehend. The pain, struggle, and loss aren't the end. They are the beginning of your story, a story of resilience, strength, and triumph. The fire inside you is burning again, and the seed inside you is cracking open. The strength you've been searching for is not out there, it's inside you. You've always had what it takes, and now it's time to let it out. You're no longer waiting for the world to change for you. You are becoming the change. You are becoming the strength you've always longed for. It's in your soul, your heart, your bones, and it's time to let it rise. This is your moment. Like a seed pushing through dark earth, nothing can stop you now. You've been walking in chains. Chains around your spirit, your confidence, your belief in your own power. The weight of all your failures and hurt has held you captive, but those chains are only as strong as you allow them to be. The truth is, you are not the victim of your circumstances. You are not the sum of your losses, mistakes, or what's been taken from you. You are the hero of your story, and it's time for you to reclaim your power. The battle is here, and it's yours to win. You've hidden from the pain, the shame, the fear, waiting for someone to tell you it's time to rise, but no one is coming. The only person who can change your life is you. It's time to stop pretending, to stop waiting for a sign. You're already in the battle. Every day you've fought, every tear you've shed, every time you got back up, they were victories. Now, it's time to stop just surviving. This is your turning point. It's time to step into the arena, to claim your victory. You are the one who decides how your story ends. The only thing standing between you and your greatness is your willingness to take ownership of the life you've been given. The weight you've carried wasn't meant to crush you, it's meant to shape you into something unbreakable. Your pain is fuel. It's the fire that refines you, the forge that strengthens you. Don't let it be your cage. Let it be your wings. It's easy to stay small, to hide behind your comfort zone. But that's a lie. The world will notice when you rise. Your success, peace, and power are waiting for you, but you must fight for them. Will you? Are you ready to stop letting the world define you? Stop giving your power away to the past, to those who hurt you, to the mistakes you've made? They want you to stay small, scared, and hiding, but I'm telling you now, you are not small, you are not scared, you are not hiding anymore. It's time to take back your narrative. Your story is yours to write. Stop waiting for permission. Your time is now. The battle is already underway, but now it's time to pick up your sword. Stand tall, face the fight, and let your pain propel you. The road ahead won't be easy, but that's what makes victory worth it. You are meant for greatness. Look at everything you've survived. You're still here. Now it's time to step into the fire, to push past doubt and silence the voices that say you can't. The time for hiding is over. The time for fighting back is now. You are the warrior who will rewrite your story. The battle is yours to win. The moment when you stop seeing yourself as the victim and realize you hold the pen is here. You were never broken. You were hidden beneath someone else's lies. Those lies are about to be shattered, and you are about to rise from those ashes. You have always had the power. The lies, fear, and doubt were never the truth of who you are. You've always been whole, strong, and capable of something greater. The power you've been searching for, the life you've been dreaming of, it's been inside you all along. Feel the shift, the weight lifting. It's not gone, it's transformed into fuel that will carry you to heights you never believed possible. The walls you built around yourself are dissolving. You are free. You are not the sum of your struggles or failures. You are defined by what you do next, by how you choose to rise. The truth of who you are has been inside you all along. You are not broken. You are not lost. You were buried, but not lost. You are reborn. Feel the power. You are the architect of your future, and it's limitless. You decide what happens next. Your potential is in you. The locked doors, you have the keys. The dreams once too far away, you have the strength to reach them. The fears, they have no power over you anymore. You are free. Don't hold back. Don't shrink from your power. You were just waiting for the moment to rise. This is your moment. You were meant for this, to break through every barrier and become more than you've ever believed. You were meant to be a force of nature, to create the life you've dreamed of. With every breath, with every ounce of strength, you will rise. No one can stop you. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your destiny. This is your time, your rise, your freedom. Let that truth sink in. Once you understand this, you will never doubt your strength again. You were only hidden beneath someone else's lies. And now it's time to rise. Stand tall, step forward. The world is waiting for you. You are not broken. You are reborn. You stepped through the fire. You stand here, no longer shackled by your past. The things that tried to break you no longer hold power over you. This is your transformation. You were once a shadow, but now you are the storm. You are no longer afraid of your power. You are the force the world cannot ignore. You are no longer shrinking to fit spaces others have carved for you. You are the space. You are the world. Feel the power coursing through you. It is yours. It always has been. The doubts of your past have no place in the life you're creating now. You've crossed into a new era, a new chapter, and in this chapter, you are the author. Your past doesn't define you. You are the product of your resilience. Everything you've been through has made you who you are now. And who you are now is someone unstoppable. Someone who can look their past in the eye and say, "You don't own me anymore." You have become more than you ever imagined. You are no longer the person who feared their own power. You are no longer the person who doubted their worth. You are no longer the person who thought they needed permission to rise. You are the one who gives permission. You are the one who decides who you are. Look at who you are now. Do you see the strength? Do you see the fire? Do you see the purpose that radiates from your every move, every decision, every word? That is who you are now. You have become the version of yourself that you always dreamed of, but never believed was possible. Now let's talk about the future. Look ahead. Picture the person you are becoming. That person is confident. That person is unstoppable. That person moves with a purpose that shakes the world. Do you see them? Do you see the person who walks through life with their head held high, their heart open, their soul unshaken? That person is you. That person is already here inside of you, waiting to be unleashed. Every step you take from this moment forward will be guided by the unshakable knowledge of your worth. You will no longer seek validation from the outside world because you have already validated yourself. You will no longer wait for permission to shine. You will no longer hide your brilliance for fear that others might feel threatened by it, because you know now, that your light does not dim anyone else's. Your light is a beacon meant to illuminate the path not just for you, but for everyone who needs to see it. Your value is immeasurable. It was never in doubt. It was never in question. It was simply waiting for you to realize it. And now that you do, there is nothing that can stand in your way. You are the one who creates your future. You are the one who builds your life. And in the process, you will shape not just the world around you, but the world within you. Your soul is powerful, your mind is limitless, and your spirit, unbreakable. You have learned that nothing, no one, no circumstance can take your worth away. Your worth was never theirs to take. It was always yours. Now imagine this. You've reached that future. You are standing in your power, in your success, in your fulfillment. You have created the life you've always desired. But it's not just the things you've achieved that define this moment. It's the way you feel. You feel proud, you feel fulfilled, you feel at peace. Not because the world is perfect, but because you are perfect. Perfectly aligned with your purpose, your mission, your soul's calling. That is who you are becoming, and that is who you are now. You are someone who knows their worth. You are someone who loves themselves deeply, unapologetically. You are someone who no longer accepts less than what you deserve. Because now, you know what you deserve. No more doubt, no more second guessing, no more questioning whether you're enough. You are enough. You are more than enough. You are everything you need to be. You are not the person you once were. That version of you, the one who was afraid, the one who shrunk back, the one who let others define their worth, they are gone. They no longer exist. What exists now is someone strong, someone capable, someone powerful, someone who knows their worth and will never let it be questioned again. You are unstoppable, you are limitless, you are worthy of all the success, all the love, all the abundance that is coming your way. This is your transformation, and it is just the beginning. You were once a shadow, but now you are the storm. It's time. It's time for you to stop waiting. It's time for you to stop asking for permission. You've spent so long living in the shadows trying to be someone you were never meant to be, trying to fit into molds that were never yours to begin with. You have allowed the world to tell you who you are, what you can do, what you can have, and you've played along because you were scared. You were scared of what would happen if you actually stepped into the fullness of your power. But now you know. The power was never theirs to give. The power was always yours. You've been waiting for some sign, some approval, some moment of validation, but I'm telling you right now, you've already got everything you need. You've got the strength, you've got the vision, you've got the resilience. Now, it's time for you to act. There's no more waiting, there's no more holding back. The time is now. This is the moment that changes everything. This is the moment where you take control, where you stop being a passenger in your own life and start driving the damn car. You're not waiting for someone to hand you the keys anymore. You've had them all along. What are you waiting for? A perfect moment? A sign from the universe? A call from someone who believes in you? You are the one who must believe in yourself. And that belief, it's the fuel you need to make things happen. Right now, you are at the edge of something incredible. You've been given a new vision of who you are, who you can be, who you are becoming. But that vision will remain nothing more than a dream if you don't act, if you don't move. You can't stay in the waiting room of your life any longer. It's time to step through the door. So here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you want. You are the hero of this story. The only thing left for you to do now is to take ownership of your story and write the next chapter. It's all on you. Let's get clear about this. What's your next step? What's the one thing you can do right now today to start moving toward the life you want? It doesn't matter how big or small that step is, it just needs to be one. Because movement is power. Stagnation is death. You have the power to create change, and you're the only one who can make it happen. Take a moment, think about it. What does your next step look like? It could be something as simple as picking up the phone and making that call you've been avoiding. It could be setting a new boundary with someone who has drained your energy for too long. Maybe it's signing up for that course you've been thinking about for months. Maybe it's finally walking away from that job or relationship that's been holding you back. Whatever it is, take that step today. But don't stop there. Once you take the first step, take another and another. Keep moving, keep growing. Every action you take will build momentum. Every choice you make will reinforce the fact that you are in control now. You are the one who determines the course of your life. You want success? You want freedom? You want the life you've always dreamed of? It's yours. But it's not going to come from waiting. It's not going to come from hoping that someone else makes it happen for you. It's going to come from your own determination, your own effort, your own belief in your worth. So let's break this down. 1, decide. Decide that enough is enough. Decide that you are done waiting for things to happen. Decide that you are worthy of everything you've ever dreamed of, and that you are ready to claim it. 2, plan. Look at your life. What do you want to change? What do you need to do to start building the life you want? Write it down. Map it out. You are the architect of your future. 3, act. Start small if you need to, but start. Do the thing. Make the call. Take the step. Do not wait for the perfect moment, because it doesn't exist. The moment is now. 40. Believe. You've already done the hardest part. You've awakened to your power. Now, believe in your ability to see this through. Trust that every step you take brings you closer to the life you deserve. And above all, never forget, the power was always yours. You've already been given the tools, the strength, the vision. Now, all that's left for you to do is take control. Stop asking for permission. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you what you can and can't do. Stop letting the world dictate your worth. You already have everything you need. Now go claim it. This is your moment. This is your time. The world is waiting for you to show up. You were never broken. You were just waiting to be reborn. Go. Step into your power. You are unstoppable.